It's time for us to wake up and realize that to eliminate cancer, we have to go to the source. And the source of the cancer is not the genes. Let's stop going first into the chemotherapy, the radiation, the surgery, and let's start looking at cancer as an energy of dysfunction. And that by energy changing of the consciousness and the belief issues, that is the healing step in cancer.
You know, with all this word salad that's been tossed around these days, I think we're gonna need something to make it like a little bit easier to swallow. I'm thinking balsamic vinegar might do the trick. I'm saying might. It probably won't, because there's so much word salad these days, but it might. It won't.
Alright, welcome back to Magic Isn't Real, the place where I try to replicate the claims of the supernatural with my very natural skill. You know, people always ask me, why do you care? Why are you doing all this? Why do you care? Seriously, who cares if a bunch of kids believe that moving a tiny piece of foil balancing on a needle is true and real telekinesis? Like, seriously, dude, live and let live. Today, I'm gonna break down the reason why I care. And the reason why I care is that it starts with you believing that you can do real telekinesis by moving a little piece of foil. And then it continues with you listening to Dr. Bruce Lipton telling you to pray the cancer away. So at this point, it's not live and let live anymore. It's live and let die, which honestly, I don't have a problem with. Like, seriously, do you want to die? That's your choice. I have nothing against it. That's your choice. You go ahead. But maybe before you jump into the unknown.
Into the unknown.
No! I want to make sure that you are making a choice based on all the arguments and evidence available. And then I'll let you choose whatever you want to choose. Then I'll let, live and let die. So today, let's hear Dr. Bruce Lipton's argument on why you should not receive medical treatment if you have cancer. Yes, I'm not making this stuff up. Also, since people keep accusing me of taking things out of context, I will, as much as I hate it, because I don't want to give him more attention, I will put the link of his video down below. You can go check yourself. But we're gonna look at some of this thing and we're gonna see what his argument is. And grab your favorite salad dressing, because we're gonna need it.
Well, today I have a very important story to talk about, a story about cancer. And why I'm bringing this up is in today's world, there's chaos all over the planet, but contributing to that chaos is a global health problem. All around the world, there's a health crisis.
I'll give you that we as humanity are not perfect. But compared to other times in history, I don't think we're doing that bad. I do not see all this chaos, as he mentioned, or like, what did he call it, a crisis. What I see is someone who has to plant fear into your head so he can sell you his shit. Which is incredibly ironic, because part of his argument is that you should get rid of fear in order to be in harmony with the source and be healthy. So it's almost as if he's selling you a solution to a problem that he's creating.
Simple understanding that is, if you believe in genetic determinism, then you recognize a person is actually a victim of their heredity.
I think I know what you're doing, Dr. Lipton. As a mentalist myself, I think I'm on to you. I think I know what you're doing right now. Chaos, crisis, and now victim. You're choosing words that would put your audience in a certain state of alert, so you can sell the word salad a little better. It's a neat trick. You're a clever one. I mean, let's break this down. You could have said something like, if you believe in genetic determinism, then you recognize a person is actually the result of their heredity. You could have said that, but instead of saying result, you said you're a victim. You're a victim. That's a very specific word to use in that context. And it's amazing, because now you're basically telling me that this big nose that I have is because I am a victim of my heredity. And I thank you so much for giving me the status of victim. I cannot wait to brag about it on Facebook. I cannot wait to tell my parents that I'm a victim of their heredity.
If there's cancer running in a family, then there's a belief that the gene that causes that cancer will manifest in their lives. And so genetic determinism actually causes us to have a very negative thought that, oh my goodness, I am susceptible to what's running in the family.
Fear, victim, crisis, chaos. It's so funny how most of his followers always accuse people like me of being brainwashed. And I'm like, what do you think is happening over here?
And then, of course, since we understand the new science of epigenetics versus genetics, the whole story changes. Because when we believe in genetics...
We don't believe in genetics, like we don't believe in gravity. We have, oh no, wait. I fell for it. Like a freaking noob, I just fell for it. He's using words to like trigger certain response. So you don't pay attention to the word salad that he's just tossing around. Where is that dressing again? All right. You almost triggered me. I was almost right there. I forgot that nothing you say has any evidence and is not based on any fact. almost got me.
But the new science of epigenetics changes the story, because epigenetics reveals that consciousness is controlling your life. There is no gene that causes cancer. That's an absolute scientific fact.
He did not just say that, right?
There is no gene that causes cancer. That's an absolute scientific fact. That's an absolute scientific fact.
He actually said it. That last sentence is a complete lie. And it almost distracted me for the not so subtlety of saying the word consciousness while putting footage of a monk praying. Dr. Lipton iced tea over here. It's quite a clever one, but did I mention that this is just religion? I mean, listen, right now is as good time as any to just mention this. So let's just go through this. What he's doing is that he's just dragging you into religion, and not even like a cool new religion or like cool new philosophical concept. Like, this is straight up Bible stuff. The source is God. The consciousness is the soul, meditation is praying, and everything that goes bad in your life is because you are too attached to the physical world and your physicality, which is basically saying that everything goes bad because you're falling for the 7 deadly sins and you should be more connected to God. Sorry, to the source. This is nothing new. It's straight up just Judeo-Christian religion, beat by beat. But hey, I hear you say, this isn't a religion because he is a doctor. He is a scientist. He's got tons of evidence. Does he? Is he? I don't see any sources besides for his own stuff, his own books, and his own experiments. Shall we even continue this video?
There's no gene, if you possess it, you will automatically get cancer. To give a very big example that is familiar to a lot of our audience is a reference to the breast cancer gene, which is, in the minds of women, possession of that gene means that cancer is some inevitable part of their future, breast cancer. And then I bring up a very important fact. 50% of the women that have the gene never get the cancer.
What about the other 50%, Bruce? You see, right here, right now, at this moment, Dr. Bruce Long Island is saying something incredibly dangerous. And I don't understand why. Okay, assuming that his numbers are correct, which is a big stretch. If you know that you have a 50% chance of getting breast cancer because your family has a history of breast cancer, there are things you can do, like for example a mastectomy, which will reduce that 50% to an almost zero.
That's an absolute scientific fact.
Why wouldn't you do that? Or better question, why is Dr. Bruce Herbal not telling you to do that? You can this is a thing that I feel like maybe it's my fault as well, but this isn't a war between science and spirituality. We can live in harmony, like true harmony. Like, you can do something which is almost a guarantee to reduce the chances of getting cancer, and you can also try to be in harmony with the source. It doesn't have to be at either or. It's dangerous, it's so bad. And please, if your family has a history of cancer, at least go get tested. Please. There's no reason to pick a side in this situation. It's your life. You only have one.
Possession of the gene itself does not cause cancer. It's activated. That gene is activated. The whole idea of what is called self-emergence, meaning genes turn on and off, that's a false belief that we were programmed with.
Ah, right. We were programmed. I almost forgot that if you don't throw around a smidgen of conspiracy theory, there is no way you can justify the lack of evidence that you're providing. Why would people pick your side unless there's an evil entity that we can fight against? Who programmed us again? Remind me. Was it Big Pharma? Is it lizard people? I bet it's the devil.
Exactly. And if we're not living in health and harmony in the world that we're in, repressed anger, repressed emotions such as fear or sadness, these repressed emotions are like a boiling cauldron in the body. And these emotions are what can engage a gene that's called an oncogene. Does the gene cause the cancer? And the answer is no. It was the consciousness that caused it. But it's not that people have a conscious desire to get a cancer. Then where is consciousness coming from for that cancer? And the answer is, well, there are actually two minds. There's the conscious creative mind connected to our identity, our source, our spirituality. But there's a subconscious mind, which is a database of programs that we acquire during our life experiences. I'm not saying that consciousness, meaning I want to have cancer, is what caused the cancer. What I'm saying is it's a subconscious program expressing a disharmony with the character's life in the world in which they're living.
Did you hear that? He's not saying that you consciously gave yourself cancer. He's saying that you subconsciously gave yourself cancer. Go ahead, tell me I'm taking things out of context. Try. Seriously. He's basically telling you it's your fault because you sin too much, because you're such a bad person, because you're not buying his books. His video has over like 2,000 comments, and they just keep on coming. And unfortunately, most of them are quite positive. People are on board with him, with his philosophy and all these things. But thankfully, even if you believe this nonsense, I found a few comments that point out something that just either doesn't add up or it just simply doesn't sit right with people. It just feels a little bit gross on the inside to think of something like that. And honestly, I would love to know what Dr. Bruce Peach Flavor thinks about this. And what of children with cancer? Their young energy has been full of love and peaceful innocence. How do you explain their fate? How do you explain cancer in babies and children? And children with cancer? Do not spread misinformation. This is not the truth. Tell this to the parents of the young kids who died of cancer. Why does kids get cancer? Yeah, Bruce. What about kids with cancer? Are they not in harmony with the source? You know, I'm gonna stop you right there, because even though I don't know what his answer is to this question, I can take an educated guess that he's gonna somehow word salad his way to blame the parents, if not just humanity itself, which is even more disgusting and despicable. Now, again, this is just my educated guess. How am I guessing this? Because this is Bible stuff. Because it's always your fault or our fault as humanity, because we're sinning too much. Guys, stop sinning. There are babies with cancer, okay? Enough with sinning.
Cancer's been around for a long time, and people have been contributing money. Billions and billions of dollars have been contributed to cancer research to resolve the problem.
Instead, they could have given all the money to me. Seriously, aren't you just like a little bit ashamed of what you're doing? Editing the video talking about like cancer research and putting the dancing white man in a suit being showered with money is... Stop it. Just stop it. You're talking as if cancer research has never saved any life. You're also insulting people who are actually actively trying to get rid of this terrible disease. And listen, I'm not a fan of Big Pharma and I'm not a fan of capitalism, but this is the world that we live in. And unfortunately, like, we need money to do the stuff. But disregard it as just a money-making scheme is just offensive. It's just offensive to the people who actually did something for humanity. And yes, we need money to do it. That's unfortunately the case. I don't see you giving your trashy books for free. I don't see you teaching people how to get in harmony with the source for free. So shut up about the money. And do not insult people who are actually trying to help.
Back in the late 60s, when I was doing my experiments on all of this new insight about how environment was controlling the genes, I did not get a lot of support from all of my colleagues because they were still involved with the belief of genetic determinism.
I bet that's not the reason why they didn't support you. I bet they didn't support you because you believe that people get cancer because they're not in harmony with God. The source. Because they're not in harmony with the source.
Science being based on Newtonian physics separated the universe into matter and energy, and the body being matter could only be dealt with by dealing with the physical body. And that's why when cancer research started, they were looking at what physical way they could intervene to stop the cancer, which of course led to the surgery, the radiation, the chemotherapy.
You're acting as if no surgery for cancer has ever ever been successful. You're acting as if chemotherapy has never worked for anybody. Like, I just can't. I just cannot.
But when quantum physics entered the world, it said that
Nope. No. You are a biologist turned spiritual guru. You know nothing about quantum physics. Nice try. Skip.
while we've been blaming the cells for disease, it turns out less than 1% of disease is actually connected to the genetics of the cells. That most of it is from the government, the consciousness that is controlling the 50 trillion cells in your body. So we've misdirected our healing approach because we've been focusing on the cells is where the problem is, but the cells are just responding to the consciousness. So if you want to change cancer, it's not eliminate the cells, but it's to rewrite the consciousness.
So once again, it's your fault. I don't care that you're a baby. Go to your room. What? You can't even walk? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that you don't understand me because you can't even talk yet. I don't care. If you will learn how to meditate and be in harmony with the source, right now you will be cancer free. Sorry, it's your fault. Bye.
I hope this insight is really helpful. For the reason is this: cancer is increasing in our world today because we're out of harmony with the world as a population.
Haha, I knew it. We are all guilty. Repent. Repent. The power of the source compels you. Repent of your sins. Whew. After this video, I'm gonna need something to calm me down. Like, I don't know, some tea maybe?
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, we have finally reached the end of this video, and this is bad. This is really, really bad. I mean, let me read one of the comments that I found in his video. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer last year. My only option is to remove my thyroid. I'm refusing surgery because I know it won't fix me. I find the hardest part of all of it is defending yourself from doctors. It's so isolating and heartbreaking when they call you crazy, and worse. I know I can heal. Hearing your truth gives me so much comfort. Thank you. You know, both my parents had their thyroid removed. There was no cancer. It wasn't an emergency. They are getting old. And they decided that thanks to modern medicine, now instead of like waiting for an issue to happen, it's just easy to do the surgery, get your thyroid removed, and then, you know, have the hormone replaced by a medicine who's going to be a guarantee that nothing is going to fail later on in your life. Just so for the record, I wasn't on board with this. I thought, since my family doesn't have an history of cancer, especially thyroid cancer, so I thought my dad was being a little bit extreme. But at the same time, I get it. We have the technology. They want to leave like without stressing out about this thing, and they made a decision, which made them, I mean, they're still alive, they're happy, they're living fulfilling life, they are not stressed out about anything, and everything went like perfect. Now you have been diagnosed with thyroid cancer. That's a thing that you can remove and live your life without any issue. You should be almost thankful that it's located in that position. And I'm not gonna call you crazy. That's wrong. But at the same time, why wouldn't you? This is a guarantee. Listen, it's not a 100% guarantee. Nothing is. But you can live without your thyroid. No problem.
That's an absolute scientific fact.
Why would you listen to Dr. Bruce Green Tea, who's not even telling you how to be in harmony with the source in order for you not to get cancer that you already have? As a matter of fact, he's not even telling you if this thing that he's talking about is to prevent cancer or to get rid of it, which is something that thankfully someone in the comment point out, so that's great. This man is basically just telling you that it's your fault, which even if it was, these guys, the doctors, don't care. They're gonna help you. Listen, maybe I'm missing something over here. I think it's undeniable that as of right now, in the future this might change, no doubt. But as of right now, these people are offering you way more than Dr. Bruce Sugar Free is. Am I wrong about this or what? You know, actually, I'm scrolling through the comments of this video, and I'm just wondering, what am I even doing? I suppose it makes sense that consciousness has created cancer, because if I didn't have a consciousness, it wouldn't even know about cancer.
Fuck.
He has too much of a following, and it's a following of people that are doing Olympic level of mental gymnastic in order to justify this all-you-can-eat salad buffet that this man is offering. My beloved husband passed away from cancer. He was positive-minded, talented, and not easily getting stressed. I get the feeling that these subconscious programs could also come from your past lives. Bad karma. By raising your consciousness to level as well as doing equally good deeds could heal the cancer. Thank you, Dr. Bruce. Seriously? Even though you admit that your husband was doing everything according to you still want to circle around and why am I making this video today? I think that there's a few of you that no matter how much you want to believe this is true, you just cannot quite jump on board of the multi-flavor Dr. Lipton boat. There's nothing about this theory that sounds absurd to me, but is there much evidence to support it? I'm really interested to know. And also, how should one live and what should be done about our consciousness to prevent cancer? I used to believe in this stuff as well. And that's all I need from you. Just keep asking questions, keep demanding evidence. And even if you truly believe this stuff in your heart, you will see that it's going to become not so much as a belief, but more like a wish. Because I want this to be true. But unfortunately, as of right now, nothing backs this up. So talk about this stuff and telling people not to get treatment. It's just dangerous at this point. I just realized something that this man, I think he's truly, listen, I'm not one of those guys that says like YouTube should report this. I don't think so. I think actually it's more helpful if this video stays up and we just keep questioning the shit out of it. But at the same time, I realized that he has a massive following. I think he's putting his followers in danger and all I can do is calling him names. That's just upsetting. That is straight up just upsetting. I don't know. Let's see if I can finish this video doing some cheap logic the way he does, but on my favor. Just because. Let's try. Let's give it a shot. If you have car issues, you go to a mechanic. Your sink is leaking, you call a plumber. If there's a fire, you need firefighters. If you're in jail, they'll give you a lawyer. And if you have a medical emergency, you go to a doctor. Whoo! Also, if you want to learn magic, you go to my Patreon page. And if you're still watching this video, obviously I want you to tell me which one is your favorite flavor of Lipton tea. Wow, I milked this joke way too much. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and bring it on. Just let me hear all the ways why I'm full of shit. Can't wait. Peace out.